Hi, but this is my single case design assignment of Katie. I am Debbie Moore. I will begin with the demographics. Katie is an 8-year-old white female. Katie is of adequate health and has no known disabilities. Katie says that she does not take medication. Katie is in the 4th grade and she attends public elementary school. Katie lives with her maternal grandmother, her aunt's 2 children, ages 4 years and 2 months, and sometimes her father lives with them. I want to clarify that this is Katie's mother's mother, whom she lives with. Katie's mother lives with her boyfriend approximately 20 minutes away from Katie. Katie says that she sees her mother maybe once, twice a month, sometimes not even that. She says that her father will live with her grandmother for 2 to 3 weeks at a time, and then he moves out. She says he moves in with a friend, but he comes back and will stay another 2 to 3 weeks and then move out again. Katie's initial assessment, and she described her presenting problem as having anxiety and feelings of being nervous about her grades and her inability to focus while at school, specifically during her math and English classes. Katie says that she worries about her teachers being upset with her. Katie is currently failing math and English. Katie says that she has difficulty falling asleep at night and she is often tired during the day. She described her bedtime routine as going to bed at 8 o'clock p.m. and however having difficulty falling asleep. She says sometimes it's 1 a.m. before she's able to go to sleep. She says that she will use technology such as video games or watching TV to help her sleep, to help her fall asleep. This is an example of the standardized scale that we used for Katie. It is the Penn State standardized scale for worry in children. There are 2 scales that Penn State offers for children. One is a shorter version of 15 questionnaire, and this is the longer one. It has 48 questions. I chose the longer one because I felt it would really actually benefit Katie to reflect more on the detailed questions and help us give a more thorough understanding of her anxiety and worry level. And I felt Katie was really a child that could do this and would actually benefit her from having a longer questionnaire. This is an example of the individual rating scale that was used for the teachers, her math and English teachers. And I will describe it more in detail. This is an example of what was used. It's the number of times that was redirected. It is a situational sampling scale. It's going to be used for 10 minutes at a time each day. Katie will also use an individual rating scale during math and English. And it's the number of times that she loses focus. Again, it's a situational sampling of only 10 minutes. I did not feel like Katie could accurately reflect an entire class period of 55 minutes of measuring how many times she lost focus. I felt that would actually not be valid measurement. In quantifying the measurement problems of the who, the type, the name, the purpose, and the type, we used the individual rating scale to gather information from Katie's teachers. The purpose of the IRS scale will assist in formulating the intervention. It will also allow Katie and the therapist to use the input from another source to evaluate Katie's perception of the problem. Katie also monitored her own IRS scale. As I said before, the situation samplings were done for 10 minutes during math and English. A sampling was done in the situational collection as not to become a burdensome task for Katie or her teachers. The purpose of the Penn State standardized scale was to collect feedback on Katie's level of worry and anxiety that she described in the intervention and the assessment. This outcome measure will also provide feedback on the presenting problem, and then this feedback can be used to identify an intervention and also give the client and her teachers a valid method of sharing their level of concern. Continuing the quantifying problems and the measurements. Again, measuring the IRS scale, it will be client, Katie, and her teachers, specifically her math and English teachers. And again, they will measure each time Katie is redirected for 10 minutes during those 2 instructional time blocks. The Penn State scale will be conducted in a quiet setting so that Katie can have the time to really reflect upon the questions, and I think this will really benefit her. Triangulation was used, which is the collecting data from multiple sources and different methods and procedures. This was done to avoid the method bias by using the multiple measurements and different reporters, that we can enhance both internal and external validity of our measurement. The reliability or validity that was maximized by using both behavioral observation and the standardized scale. This reduces the misinterpretation by the observers and provides different perspectives of what we are measuring. The Penn State scale measurement can be found at the following website. It's on the slide, but I'll also say it. It's www.childfirst.ucla.edu/resources.html. And the really good thing about the Penn State rating scale is that it is free and it has complete, full, detailed directions, and it can be found on this website. To score this scale manually, each item is assigned a numeric value from 0 to 3, where 0 is never, 1 is sometimes, 2 is often, and 3 is always. The potential range of scores for this scale is calculated with a numeric value for certain items, and thus the highest score possible is 18, and the lowest score is 0. The measurement, reliability, or validity data for the Penn State scale. In a school sampling of 1,641 students, children and adolescents, a favorable internal consistency was reported with the DSM for anxiety disorders and depression. The ARCAD's ability to help inform diagnosis, track clinical change, and further differentiate between anxiety and depression disorders shows its strong efficacy in both clinical and research settings. Katie's initial goal is to increase her focus during class. She felt like if this could occur, then everything else would be okay. Katie's baseline graph from the IRS scale reflect both the teacher and Katie's reports of the 10-minute situational sampling. Katie's IRS scale reflected a more variable with a cyclical pattern. Her reporting was more of an up and down trend with a definite positive acceleration the last day. This possibly could be Katie's desire to show improvement rather than an actual change. The teacher's report during the sampling reflect a more stable trend. However, interestingly, their last day on the IRS scale reflected a negative deceleration, which showed that she had lost focus more often on the last day. The blue line is the teacher's report, and the darker brown is Katie's report. The case conceptualization of Katie. Katie is struggling to maintain a focus during her academic classes at school. She feels this problem is caused by her lack of ability to sleep at night, which results in her being tired during the day. Katie's main goal is to increase her ability to focus and eliminate the anxiety of having her teachers be disappointed in her. Katie's main source of support is her father, even if he is sporadically in and out of her life. She feels he is the only person she can go to when she needs help. Katie's intervention will focus primarily on a solution-focused therapy to allow Katie the opportunity to solve her problems. Behavioral therapy focus would also be appropriate for Katie's bedtime routine. At this time, Katie does not express any negative feelings towards the family dynamics of her mother or father not being consistently in her life. As the client therapy relationship grows and evolves, this would be a topic left open for exploration. The goal setting and case formulation continued. Again, the problem is Katie's lack of focus in class. Her initial goal will be to increase her attention in class, and her objective will increase her focus during math and English 5 days a week with 0 times of how she describes zoning out. The type of model used was the AB model. The rationale for using the AB model is that it does provide a baseline, and this baseline is data will be used to help create an intervention, and and then the intervention will be a direct result of the baseline data. The advantages and disadvantages of using the AB model: the advantage is that it is an efficient assessing, monitoring, and measuring tool of both the baseline and intervention. The disadvantage is that the AB model focuses on a specific intervention. Other factors such as maturation or the increased attention may have possibly produced the same results. Katie's intervention will be to listen to soft music instead of watching TV. Katie will deliberately focus on a solution for helping her be attentive in class. Using the solution-focused therapy allows Katie to focus on a deliberate solution to the problem she has described. She felt that a solution would be to change her bedtime routine. With evidence provided to her that the technology was actually doing the opposite of helping her sleep, Katie was willing to change her routine. Katie will now listen to soft classical music on her tablet instead of playing video games. Katie suggested several additional solutions. She said she could wear headphones and to drown out any noise that occurs in the home, and also place a timer on her tablet that would turn off the music after 20 minutes. The behavioral therapy is also effective for Katie because she is having to unlearn the behaviors that she has been comfortable doing and replace them with behaviors that she is now learning. This is an example of the continued monitoring. As part of the behavior therapy, Katie will track the changes that are occurring in her bedtime routine. This ongoing feedback will affect the continued decisions about her intervention. The continued self-reports will provide the material for future productive discussions to analyze the changes and will also demonstrate Katie's commitment to change. As in this example, Katie did not always reach her goal, and this was an opportunity for discussion on how Katie can focus more on the solution to bedtime routine. Katie did express that when she was in bed listening to music, she felt more in control and relaxed. The studies for research. The studies that were given to Katie as evidence that music is an effective tool for helping students or adolescents fall asleep were school-age students, and the reference for this empirical study that was provided to Katie was found in the Sleep New York, then Winchester. The title was Television Viewing, Computer Game Playing, and Internet Use and Self-Reported Time to Bed and Time Out of Bed in Secondary School-Age Children. And then the meta-analysis of the study that showed Katie that the importance of music and how it can help her fall asleep was found in the Journal of Advanced Nursing. The title was Music Improves Sleep Quality in Students. So Katie was able to take that evidence and say, okay, this is something that has been shown to be effective versus what she has been doing, which was playing video games. This is Katie's graph that demonstrates the baseline, and then the dotted line shows where the baseline ended and the intervention began. Again, the blue marks show that the teacher's report, and the darker brown shows Katie's report. The teachers did an initial week assessment of Katie's intervention after Katie had begun the intervention, which really was a positive because it did show the positive trend towards acceleration of reaching her target goal as indicated by the horizontal dotted line. Katie's measures showed a lagged response and then a progressive acceleration. Both Katie and her teacher's reports show a positive trend towards acceleration toward her goal. Katie did have more of a cyclical more trend at the beginning, the first 2 weeks, but then the progression really began in the third and fourth week, and at the end of the fourth week she was able to consistently show that she was able to focus while in class. The conclusion of my literature shows that the literature did have a direct correlation on bedtime routine, and Katie has been able to say that putting away the video games and listening to music has helped her fall asleep. The strengths of the evaluation is that the standardized scale is designed to elicit information in a comprehensive manner. The IRS shows flexibility in measuring specific problems that Katie has expressed. The continuation of data collection was done in samplings to prevent the collection from becoming burdensome to both Katie and her teachers. The ongoing self-monitoring will provide analysis for the continued intervention. The weaknesses of the evaluation is that I would like to involve the family and have their input on Katie's bedtime routine. I would have also liked to have had the input from Katie's related arts teacher to find out how Katie's focus was in those classes. The questions may have been asked if Katie's lack of focus was only due to her bedtime routine, or perhaps it was due to the other factors, such as classroom academics. Katie's mood has improved dramatically, and she feels that she has been successful and her grades are improving.